Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, guys. I'm Ophia. Now, I've been wanting to remake my macro video for marking targets ever since I got my Blue Yeti microphone. But I wanted to test out the macro to see if I could refine it in any way. I even went out as far as to go and see if I could find anything better. I've tried out a few of them I've saw online, but as far as I can see, they were just as good as mine, and they had the same flaw. The problem I have with my macro and all the other ones I've tried is that if you have two groups within your field of vision, your macro is liable to mark one or two from one group and one from another group, or vice versa. And the best way I've found to get around that is to initially pull before marking and kind of position your field of view to where you can't see the other mobs. A lot of times I just run just past the mobs, so they have to turn to fight me and I have to turn to fight them, but my party is still behind the mobs. So I find that to be the best way, because I'm having to sit there and position the mobs so they won't cleave my healer anyways. So I find that's the best way to do it. But you can also, if you have a decent enough healer, or you feel confident he can do the job, is to just go ahead and reuse the macro as needed. So let's take a look and see what my macro is all about. I actually gone through this video once before, so let's delete that. I have two text commands that I use to do this macro. Is next target, MK attack sign 3, and target, and then it just repeats with a different sign on the MK. So let's take a look and see what these do. If we go down to the ends for next target, we find out, oh, just past it, there it is. We'll find out that next target has an alias NT, but what it does is it will toggle clockwise through on-screen enemies. So now we're going to run up to, well, if we look at the M's, there's no marked target anywhere. Just because marked target is not actually listed as a actual text command, even though it is a text command. It's under enemy sign here. Enemy sign has two alias, marking and MK, and of course we're marking with signs, so that's what a marking and MK stands for. So our usage is enemy sign, the sign type, and then the target. And of course we know T is our target, and we'll put down T because that's the last target we selected. And then we just put 1 through 5. Attack 1 through 5. So if we wanted to go through and write this down, we would scroll back down to here. To ends. Select next target. It'll go ahead and put it on the board for us. Then we'll scroll back up to enemy sign, and we select that. And of course, we want to put the type of sign down, so we will put down a attack, and we want to do this in descending order. And I say this is the best way to do it, is in descending, is that it will make the last target you selected will be 1. That way you don't have to write another line of code, or another line reselecting enemy sign number 5. Or targeting sign number 1, sorry. So we're going to copy and paste. And all we gotta do now is just come back and change these to 4. This one to 3. This one to 2. And this one to 1. There. Now, this will actually go through and target 5 enemies with the attack signs 1 through 5. And that's all we need. Of course, we can pick out anything we want for a icon. I'm just gonna leave it blank for right now. Now I have the targeting macro. I also have one that will clear the enemy signs, and I've done this. I have gone to a zone to where I was doing questing, and I accidentally hit my mark target sign, and now you got a bunch of mobs running around with the signs on top. So you can either let other people kill them or you leave the zone. Well, if you don't want to do that, you can do it this way. You can actually, and this is kind of cool because you don't have to physically go through and mark any of the targets the way I got it written down here. Now here I have 3 types of commands I'm using. I'm using macro error off, and what it does is it turns off any error messages that will come in from not having a target. Keeps you from seeing the red error messages and really spamming your chat with it. So this turns off our error commands, and what this does, it will target attack 1. Now if we look at target, and I know I've gone through this so many times in another video, but target just selects an NPC with a specific name. Now the way that marking with signs works is it changes the name of the mob that you signed to that name. So whenever you select next target attack 1, it selects the target that has that mark and that sign over it. So what this does is we'll select out, or we'll pick out the mob that's marked attack 1, and then the next command will clear its sign, and then we'll select the next target with attack 2 and clear its sign. So this works in reverse of what we just did. And of course, when we get down to the end, we'll turn the macro error back on. Now, if you really wanted to, you can leave it off. I really think it's a command or an option that should be left on. But there are certain times when you don't need it. Like if you know you're going to hit some errors, then you can macro it in and out. Or I should say macro it in, or out and back in. But I find it's a little better to keep it on, because then you know if something's going on with your macros that you might need to change something. Alright guys, that's all I have for you today. This macro and all the others I've done are on a Google document down in the description below. If you like this video, please give it a like. Take care, and I will see you guys next time.